5 words: Gospel Rescue Mission, Homeless Joe, and imaging. And to me, it's very clear what you're representing.
Thank you, thank you. That's what we were looking for, and it's the kind of idea that I know that this has got much bigger legs on it than we've even begun to achieve.
When did you launch? When did you start?
This came out in last October.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
yeah, so we first started. In fact, I didn't tell even my board that I was doing it until we had a package, and I was like, here guys, I got something for you, and we put it together. And it's not, I mean, it's not perfect yet. So here's my next step. Here's some of my next steps. So my expectation is that the videos of little soundbite conversations of 2 strangers meeting in a coffee cup, and community is built around a cup of coffee. Homeless Joe, well, he ain't so bad. You know, he's just a regular person and everything like that. I think little clips like this in our marketing is going to have is going to be a stupid viral possibility on this kind of stuff. So I've got to get to where I can get this moving. We've got a website that we'll be selling from. My next set of packaging, I'm actually even thinking about my next set of packaging of just making it straight at homelessjoe.com. Which is where our website is, and just promoting homelessjoe.com. And then what we do is we just say, we change it from Grants Pass Gospel Rescue Mission specific to Gospel Rescue Missions in general. A cup of coffee sold goes to a portion of the profits go to a Gospel Rescue Mission in your town. Goes to a homeless shelter in your community. Now that's as easy to do from the website. Then we just track where it came from, and now it's a fairly easy thing. And then we just got to find Gospel Rescue Missions or Union Gospel Missions or Sunday Breakfast Missions. We all have clever names, right? But it's all the same thing. And so we look and go, now anybody can benefit from this product, and we can all share it together and see a good thing coming. So those are the next steps that we're working on. Right now, the first thing was just I got to get this thing trademarked because it's a good enough idea that I didn't want anybody else coming in and going, oh yeah, we're doing Homeless Joe too. But it doesn't have to be Homeless Joe. Again, a consumable item, that's a really good thing. That's why I say pizza boxes. That's a great idea, but if not pizza boxes, who knows? I mean, there's got to be something.
I went to Rescue Mission and they did muffins.
Yeah.
Then you all have a lot of commercial kitchens and things like that, so that's already built in. But what's nice about this is it has 0 overhead. So like you're outsourcing everything, and so it's like to get started is to hire the people to run it, to build it. You're starting in a place where it doesn't take that. You're outsourcing all that.
Correct.
Then whenever you scale it, then you can bring that on the house, get the equipment, and then you can drive the margins down, and then you can scale and do a lot more different stuff.
Exactly. You're totally following.
Yeah,
and
it's brilliant.
So
and you can go get a coffee shop kind of thing if that's ultimately where you could go. And that, and everyone.
That employs your homeless people.
Yeah, exactly. Actually,
do you need some help with this?
No, not at all. You guys have looked at our notes on this. Eric's going to be cracking up.
I read a book called Homeboy Industries. You probably know Homeboy.
I'm very familiar with Homeboy Industries. Yeah.
And so they had a book. The CFO wrote a book about it, and they tried a bunch of different industries and a whole bunch of different things. And the one comment the CFO said they tried Homeboy plumbing.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, not many people want ex-convicts going into their house.
Right.
So, but this is a brilliant idea because, they started doing bakery, manufacturing.
They've got a bakery. They've got salsa menu, homebrew cafe. They've got all kinds. They do lots of T-shirts and silk screening and stuff like that.
So the branding is really important, but also you got to be, obviously with the client, you can actually employ them. That's part of the reason why thrift stores are brilliant too.
Yeah.
Because you can able to provide vocational training, and you're providing healing through vocational training, and you're putting revenue back in.
And I'll tell you something. We're making a shift as an organization that we're doing it currently. We're making this shift currently where we used to have kind of a policy of where it was a path. Our pathway is to independence, getting somebody off the streets. Right now, 1 out of 3 people that walk through our doors will leave with a sustainable income in a home. We have we've got a really
good number.
We've got a great program, and it really works. And it's and there are numbers like that are things you can hang your hat on. Donors can hang their hat on. Grantors can hang their hat on. It's a really effective program. But one of the things that we've worked really hard on is, like, we tell our residents, hey, you got to be able to prove that you're independent. So if you go out and you become independent and you get a job, you become independent, you do this thing for a year, you can come circle back around if you want to come and work with us. We consider hiring you and everything. And I was talking to Rob Tart from Durham, and he's like, yeah, you got to change that. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, one of your struggles, he said, because it's one of all of our struggles, is getting continuity in culture, keeping a continuity in culture. Your people, your graduates are your culture. Mm-hmm. And he said, so we started hiring. He's telling me all about. We have our own employment department. We have our own. We hire right out of our own place and everything, and now everybody that's coming in is already entrenched in our culture from the beginning, and so we're starting to re-leverage that and think about how we're doing that. And we've got several positions open up, so we've got opportunity to just put that right into practice, to start bringing people into our program. But we've hired people. We've had a lot of really strong folks from our program who are part of our team, and one of them is Eric here. We've had lots of excellent people God sent us along the way, but we expect to have more. And again, a coffee shop just adds more of that to what we're doing, training, and it's in a town with a lot of coffee shops. Mm-hmm. So it's training for something that has real world job application in our local community. The beauty of that is being able to tell the community, look, every Mission resident is somebody who's gone from, they've been taking in the community from community resources, to the tune, they say the average homeless person in our area probably costs the community, a taxpayer, about $50,000 a year in just community services and resources. So you're taking them out of that system, and you're putting them into, even if they're getting an entry-level job. 15 bucks an hour is an entry-level job in our area, and that's $32,000 a year. Now, if you average 100 people going into the workforce in your community, well, there's $3.2 million that you're adding into the local economy. Plus you're not costing the $5 million into the that it was costing the local economy. That's an $8 million shift in your local economy that is happening really quick. And again, that's just the power of turning it into a job. What is this really doing? It's doing stuff in big pictures, but here's the cool thing. If you take a clip of this video and you just watch and see the testimonies, and we've done a really good job. Eric is my video guy. He's done a great job of just telling the stories of people, letting them say in their own words how God's worked through the mission to do good things in their lives, and that has brought it from big picture right down to people that they know, people they can go see at the local hardware store or at a restaurant or at Walmart or whatever it is wherever they're working. Might be their neighbor. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me ask you, do you track the buyers and then the ones that scan this code? Because I can't on Wi-Fi right now. Yeah. Do you track them? Obviously, it uploads the video. do you track the ones that maybe start subscribing to a newsletter, and then can you track?
Not yet.
You can do all of that.
Yeah.
We're not doing it yet, and I gotta be honest with you. In some ways, it's almost more work than it's worth. I think in some of that, it can be done, but it's a lot of work to make a lot of moving parts. You can have a whole other department just
I'd be
and all
curious to know
that.
your conversion rate of people that buy
Yeah.
to then become donors.
Yeah.
And that would be the really interesting.
Boy, that would be money on the hook, right?
It would be.
Yeah. So, but what you could do is, once our primary market is coming through a website instead of through our thrift stores.
Exactly, yeah.
Now all of a sudden I can track a lot more, okay? And I can track a lot more, and if I'm doing it where I'm distributing a portion of the resources, giving it back to different local gospel rescue missions all across the country where they're buying it from, well, now I can track that too.
Yeah.
And so suddenly that has a big, a big marketing, now you got an incentive to just don't recreate this, just start a different thing, but sell what's already been created. Don't reinvent that.
I mean, exactly. I mean, especially if you're planning the idea of doing the stories where everyone talks together, you're continuing that. They see this video, hey, I love this. I want to see one a month. Let me sign up for this newsletter.
Yep.
Then they sign up for the newsletter, then you can advertise.
So this becomes, you get a coffee subscription.
Exactly.
So now you get a coffee subscription service, and that's a big thing right now.
I know it's a million different.
No, look, we're all there. I love it. I love the way you guys are thinking,
Yeah.
and that's good news, because what that means is that now you think about this and go, what can I do in my spot, in our town, and what can we do? How can we make this work in my
That
town?
roasts coffee,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure what they're doing with it, and I'm not sure how successful, but part of the church has a roaster, and they need to be doing more with it.
You know somebody that wants to sell it to a little company in Oregon. I'm looking for a roaster, and we can get this party started.
have your card, Brian, and I'll pay you in
There you go, right?
No, this is brilliant.
John.
Yeah, so one of the thoughts I had about your coffee in the park, have a cup of Joe with homeless Joe situation was, more often than not, all of us do experience the negative, stereotypical, knee-jerk reactions towards, oh, you're bringing homeless into the community, when we all know in reality,
Yep.
we're decreasing that number.
Yep.
And we're helping. But that idea to me stands out, because usually what I'll do is I'll just stand firm silently and with the understanding that I know that we're actually a help.
Yeah.
That extra step that you're thinking about taking not just serves the individual to rejoin the community, but also serves the community itself. And that's the tagline we often use. Truly serving the community by helping to change that preconception person by person. So that's amazing. The only part of my brain that's saying, oh, wait a minute, would be the whole media release of views of images and that whole thing.
That's good.
But I'm
look,
sure.
I mean, we have to cross that bridge somehow. You
Yeah.
figure it out somehow.
But I commend that train of thought, and I really hope that it works out.
Well, we are all in a business that is full of compassion fatigue.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially right now, I mean, it's the last thing somebody, and you're all struggling to keep up donor. I mean, I don't know about each of your communities, but I know in ours, we have got a ton of really great Christian nonprofits. I mean, there's Christian schools, and there's a pregnancy care center, and there's all, there's a Salvation Army, there's all kinds of great stuff going on, and they're all doing really good work. And so when you see this kind of stuff, and then you ask somebody, and right now, anything that has to do with kids, they're getting all the money, right? They get the easy money, because you say, I'm helping children, they just go, well, how big of a check do you need?
Yeah.
But when you say, I'm helping homeless people, and there's like dumpster fires right downtown, and everything, and the whole town looks like a dumpster fire sometimes over this. Last thing anybody wants to do is to go, oh, yeah, I'm going to help those guys. And so you just get this constant thing. So we need a feel good. We need a feel good. We need a way to help them see, to help them rehumanize this thing. I don't know if you ever read work of Albert Bandura. He's a sociologist, famous sociologist. If you've read any of the Crucial Conversations, Crucial Confrontation, these guys quote Albert Bandura all the time. Albert Bandura wrote a book called Moral Disengagement, and it was all based around this picture of a family in the 40s, so all military family, all sitting around having this big picnic, outdoor picnic. In the background is the smokestacks of concentration camps. Okay, and it's a German family. And the question that he's asking is, how is it that people can be doing this family thing, this loving family thing, and be disengaged with this horrific thing right behind them that they're participating in as well, because these are all soldiers that are with their families and everything. How is it that they can do that? Well, one of the ways that they do it is the same ways that they do. You hear this all the time when you see people driving. You're in the car. You might even have kids and family members that do this. You might sometimes you're driving by, and there's a bunch of drug addicts all kind of congregated by a 7-Eleven or something like that. And somebody says, tweaker, look at all those tweakers over there. Mm-hmm. What are they doing? They're dehumanizing them. They're making monsters out of them and dehumanizing them. That's one of the tactics for moral disengagement, right? Okay? It's okay for me to be cruel to them because they're not human beings. And in fact, if I can make them a monster, nobody faults anybody for slaying a monster, right? And this kind of thing's going on all the time. Right now, you see it in our politics, right? You know, you got a group. I watched a video of some kid on a street punching a little old lady as she's crossing the street because she's wearing a red hat. And what is he doing? Because he's part of Antifa. He's an anti-fascist, and he's decided she's a monster. What? She's a fascist, right? So she's not a sweet little old lady anymore. She's a monster, and so it's okay for me to go punch her. Our world is swimming in this right now. We are swimming in this. So what something like this does is an attempt to rehumanize and bring the humanity back to what we're doing and say, hey, look, not only are these people made in the image of God who are worth dying for, Jesus did, and if the King of the universe is it says it's worth dying for, well, I don't know if you got anywhere else higher you can appeal to than that. And he says they're worth dying for. They're made in my image. Okay, then I have to force my mind to reject this move, and I have to stay on top of it. I have not allow people to change the language that we use. In fact, I have to constantly reinvent things to keep that in place, to keep that good language in place, to bring humanity back to these things. So this is what we do, and this is what a product does. And here's what's even cooler about it is not only is it just a product that does it, we get to tell the story. We got to use our God-given creativity for all of this stuff. Use AI for this process, you know, and try and help us in that storyline. But then here's what I also get to do. I get to just get a business owner who buys in on the idea, says, yeah, I love it, I'll put it on my counter. And they'll buy, you know, this is their command. They'll buy like $200 at a time. You know, they'll buy $200 worth, so that's 10 bags of coffee at a time. And they buy about 10 bags a week from me, and they put it up on their counter and everything like that. And they just sell it for the 10 to 20 bucks a bag. So they're not looking to make money. They're just looking to break even on the whole thing. But they just constantly get to tell the story. And they're using their advertising dollars for it. They're using their counter space for it. And they get to share the story, and I'm already hearing at different networking groups all over the place. You know, people are going, oh, I won't drink any other coffee anymore. That's the best coffee I've ever had. Oh, there's something special about the way it's ground. Oh, there's something special about. I'm hearing all this mythology starting to develop around it. And I'm like, that's awesome, man. I just love it.
I've actually met homeless Joe.
Right. Exactly. You know, I really love it when people start referring to me as Joe. That's fantastic. Hey, Joe. You know, That's what you're looking for, and that's again, that's what God blessing the whole thing. You know, this isn't just the genius of any one guy. That's when the Holy Spirit comes in and says, "Oh, I just got a great idea for you, and I'm going to just work it and breathe life into it in your heart and mind." And that's kind of what we're doing. We just go, Lord, help me get out of the way. You know, build the machine, help me get out of the way. We want you to receive all the glory. And we keep praying, Lord, do something so big in Grants Pass that none of us could take care of. No one, if we tried to take credit for it, nobody would believe us, because you just do something God-sized, right? That's what we're looking for. And it's the kind of prayer that we pray at our staff meetings all the time. We want people to just, when they drive by, go, man, there's got to be a God in heaven. Why? Because I knew a guy who went in there, and I'm telling you, the guy who came out of there was just completely different. You know, because there's a different person that came out of that. Because I know the people that work there, and they're a bunch of jerks. they're not that good. You know, I want to see that kind of thing happening, and so that's what we're looking for. And anyways, I hope that my hope in all this is just that it be inspiring to you, that you think about, you know, other things, you know, other ways to take advantage of it. I hope that as we get, maybe you'll just follow us, stay in touch with us on what we're doing, and so that when we get to that spot where we're like, partner with us, let's roll with this and really get going, that it's an easy yeah. You know, that you guys just go, yeah, we want to be a part of that, and I want it to be something that blesses everybody, because I don't think that God ever does something small. You know, it's just if it's small, it's a good idea that it was my idea. So if it's big, then it's a good idea it was his. You have any other questions?
Just a comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. My heart was tracking with what John said. I'll say it another way. To the glory of God, this concept positions the Gospel Rescue Mission in Grants Pass or in any community. Yeah. I would suggest to be what every Gospel Rescue Mission should be, and that's a thought leader in terms of being a part of eroding the stigma.
Yeah. Amen.
And so what this positions you to be able to do is it gives you a platform by which to do that, to rewrite the narrative.
Yeah. Right?
And again, to the glory of God.
That's exactly right. I mean, this is the thing that John and I have really connected on. You know, I felt like, I guess part of it was real helpful with, I live in a small community. Who hasn't for a long time known what to think about homelessness. So they always come to you, you know, when they find out you work for a rescue mission, they always ask these really simplistic questions. So what's the solution? So how do we solve it? So what do I do? And they're the right questions, but they're really too grand in some ways and too overly simplistic in how they're trying to do it. So what they need is they need to hear from you. How do I think about it? How do I piece it out? You know, to recognize that every person that comes through is a unique individual. They've got a different level of broken. They've got a different flavor of how they got there and a whole history behind them. What's it going to take to solve their problem? Well, you're going to have to get to know them. How much time do you have? You know, and if you don't have the time to do it, well, guess what? There's a great organization that's all they do. Our thing is making time to get to know that stuff. You know, so instead of running around stuffing your trunk of your car with blankets and sandwiches, God bless you for trying. But you know, I mean, instead of doing that, why don't you just point them to us? You know, point them in a direction that this is what we're doing. This, you know, leave it to the pros. You know, I mean, you can get on YouTube and you can learn to do heart surgery. I am sure, but are you sure you really want to do that with your time? And is that the right thing? You know, are you going to trust you with that? Leave it to the experts. I'm gonna leave heart surgery to the heart surgeon. You know, who spent a lot of time in college, you know, doing this, and this is our area of expertise, and we've been doing it longer than almost everybody else in your town that comes and says, hey, we've got this great idea and a bunch of money, and we're going to solve homelessness, and then you listen and you're like, not that. We're going to do harm reduction, and we're going to come in and we're going to give out, and we're going to give away free tents, and we're going to give all this stuff. And, you're just like, stop, don't do that. Come see what we're doing and find out what works, and find out what works from people who've been doing it, who've been bleeding with these people, crying with these people, sitting in courtrooms with these people, going to the hospitals with them, watching them die, doing their funerals, doing their weddings, watching them give birth, walking alongside of them all the time. That's what folks in Gospel Rescue Missions do. Nobody is better at this than you guys are, than what we collectively. There's more wisdom in this building on homelessness than there is in the rest of the United States combined. In the 40, 60 people that are here, and could set the nation straight. And part of it is actually we know the people, and we know the people. We got to tell their stories. This is what the beauty of this is I don't have to tell their stories. I'm going to let them tell their stories. I'm going to let Brian and Paul and Jade and people, just scores, Jennifer. I'm going to let them tell their stories about what happened to them in their stay. And if you don't like this person for whatever reason, well, get another bag of coffee. There's another one that's coming right up behind them. Because look, we turn out an average of about 100 people a year into our community. I mean, that actually are successfully leaving homelessness behind. I can't catch stories fast enough. I mean, they're leaving successfully faster than I can actually record the story and sit down and talk to them about it. A lot of times they're like, I find out, hey, so-and-so checked out today. What? Yeah, he's been working over here, and he got an apartment over across town, and he's doing great and everything. How come I didn't know about this? How come nobody shoved the camera in front of his face and everything? Well, he had to work the next day, Okay, he's just too busy doing life, right? He's doing it, and he's doing it well. And surprise, surprise, he doesn't want to spend more time in the mission. He wants to go out and just live, But those that we can get their stories is good, and it's powerful, and it's the kind of stuff that people can identify with. It's people that they go, hey man, that could be my sister, that could be my daughter, that could be my mom, that could be my uncle or brother, that could be me. And that's where you want, when they see themselves in the reflection, they're going to actually connect. And I think that's really what we're looking for in all of that is helping them see what they can't see, make the invisible visible. Right? You're trying to help draw back that curtain for them. A product like this can do it. And I hope we get to work together on this, and I hope that we take our collective brains and AI and truly and I mean, you got several mega minds out there now, and everything, and we actually sit down and think about, like, hey, let's strategize and let's figure out how we can do this to the glory of God. Our job is to point to Jesus, right? I mean, that's what it all is anyways. And so let's take every opportunity we can to point to the King. I hope you guys enjoy the coffee. And if you know what, I don't want to fly any of this stuff back. So John's going to take some more with him, and I'm definitely I got to save some for Greg Kirk, because he was my first guinea pig when I sent this out. I was like, Greg, you got to check this out. I sent him 3 pounds. He was like, he called me. He's like, my office smells so good, and so it's good. This is a donut shop kind of coffee roast. So it's I would call it a medium dark. I wouldn't call it a dark roast. I'm a Pacific Northwest guy, so I like it really dark. I mean, really dark. So, but not everybody likes that. And hopefully, when we get our own roaster, we'll be just doing our own blends and create more reasons to shop with us. Anyways, guys, thank you for taking me. You guys could have gone anywhere. You guys came here.